Good morning, Patreon members!
Good morning! This is going to be great today. This is my first attempt at doing a voiceover in my entire life. So, I'm going to be ripping these weeds out of here in preparation for bed number 3 to be put into our onion crop this year. So I'm going to be making little lines perpendicular to the bed, and we're going to be planting these guys about 8 inches apart. So I'm going to make my little rows here with the hoe 8 inches apart, and then inside the row I'm going to plant them about 4 inches apart. 3 inches, 3 to 4 inches. I'm not exact. But here's our beautiful tray, and we just lift the little clump out, and then I'm going to rub my hands together, and that takes the root ball apart. Now don't smash these guys when you're doing this. Just simply rub them gently, and then the dirt will fall off, and then your onions will be exposed so that you can set them in. Now I'm setting these in here at 3 inches apart because I want the finished onions to be about 6 inches apart, which is about the width of my little finger and my thumb when I stretch them out. So I just measure there to see about how far to put them. Now what's happening is they're going in 3 inches apart, but the fact is the finished onions will be 6 inches apart because I'm going to pull every other onion as the onions get bigger, and we can just eat the onions while they are small. I think that's a really good way to do it, and I'm excited about doing it this way. This gives us a little bit more room in the same amount of space to grow more food. So this is a pretty great thing to do. Okay, now at this point I've got my row made here, and I'm gonna pull another one of these little ones out. We're gonna just roll it in my hand. That simply gets the dirt off. That's all it does. All the dirt comes off. You have nice clean roots. And then you take the onions apart one at a time, and you gently put them down in the trench. Don't worry too much about where the roots are. I'm trying to get the bottom of the onion where the roots are coming out just down in there. And so push each one of them in the bottom of the trench and try to keep your spacing around 3 to 4 inches. And as we do that, go ahead and walk on the bed, but don't walk on the onions you've already planted. But you can walk on the bed in front of it, that's okay. If you're tilling your garden, you probably don't want to walk on the bed. Gently cover the roots. So a little bit of soil on each root. On the back side of the onion, push dirt against it. That'll stand the onion up. And that one didn't go in good, so I went ahead and pushed him down and then got him stood up there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make another row here. Just making a little trench, a little furrow, so that it's easy to bury the roots. This is actually a pretty tedious way to plant the onions, and there's probably easier ways to do it. This honestly is not very hard though. So just get those down in there, and then we cover the roots, and then we push the backside to stand them up. I've planted a lot of onions in my life before, and I never really stood them up. Look, if I was going to do these all in one day, I wouldn't be standing them up at all. I'd just be throwing them in and covering the roots, and the plants would just straighten themselves up. Now there's another fun thing you could do with these onions, and I don't show it in this video, but you could make that little trench a lot deeper and put the little onion down in maybe 2 or 3 inches deep. As long as that second leaf is able to come out of the ground. The second leaf is the little tiny one, the brand new growing one. If it's coming out of the ground, then what you would create would be a long green onion. You'd have that long shank on it. And that could be a really fun, exciting thing to do. In fact, maybe I should go do something like that just for fun. Okay, at this point, we need to water these guys in. As with anything that you transplant, you want to get them watered in as soon as possible. You don't want those roots to be drying out at all. So I may do 4 or 5 rows, and then I'll get them watered. You want to make sure that they don't dry out, because if they do, your plants will suffer, and it could even kill some species. This is the conclusion of this video. Hopefully this has helped you have the best onion crop in your entire life.